Central Maryland has many transit services that are part of the present system. MTA bus, light rail, and metro currently connect commuters and patrons to various points of travel each day. But there's a new rail service slated for Maryland that not only has the potential of enhancing transit in our region, but also is expected to create a number of additional opportunities in and around the communities it serves. It's known as the Red Line, and MTA Executive Director of Transit Development and Delivery, Henry Kay, joins us with an update on this exciting transit project. Hi, Henry. Good to see you again.
Hi, Joe. Great to be here.
Oh, well, talking about the Red Line. We're excited. What's going on? Got to keep the people engaged.
Well, the Red Line is an exciting project.
Yes.
It's one of the biggest, most interesting, I think, things that MTA is doing now for the region. It's has the potential to really transform not only the transit system, as you mentioned, but really the way we think about the region, the way we move around the region.
So where's it going? I mean, there are folks out there who they've heard about it, they've heard debate, they've heard all these locally preferred options. Where's it going?
Well, the Red Line is 14 miles long.
Okay.
It's a light rail line, and it goes almost directly east-west across the region.
So it
starting on the west side, it's in the Woodlawn area, actually right at the end of Security Boulevard,
okay,
near the CMS facility, and then it runs all the way through the center of the region, serving downtown, and then out to the east side where it ends at Hopkins Bayview Medical Center.
Oh, it is east-west.
That's right. It goes right through the center of the region.
Now, but that's what the issue is. It's going through the center of the region. There are a lot of things that are happening. So where are we currently in the process? We've chosen the route. We know where some of the stops are going to be. So where are we now?
That's right. We've been through a fairly lengthy process so far. I mean, a project like this requires a lot of very deliberate thinking, a lot of very deliberate planning, consultation with communities, consultation with local governments, in this case Baltimore City and Baltimore County. We have federal partners who are involved, not only as because they regulate environmental resources, but also because they are potential funders of the project. We have a regional organization called the Baltimore Metropolitan Council that needs to be involved. So we've been working with all these organizations to try to put together a plan for the Red Line and a specific concept for it that will meet their needs, represents a consensus coming out of the communities, and is going to be eligible for federal funding. So what we've been doing over the past couple of years is what we call an alternatives analysis, which is where we look at a whole variety of alternatives. We've now settled on one, right, which we refer to as the locally preferred alternative.
And that was last year?
That was last year.
Okay.
And that's the alternative that we think best represents the needs of the community and the ways to meet the purpose and the original goals that were set out for the project.
But how important is this project to Baltimore? I mean, what does this mean in terms of dollars, jobs, that kind of thing? And these are all projections, I understand.
That's right. The Red Line is a big project. I mean, at this point, if you think of it in terms of what it might cost during the time it's being constructed, we call that inflated to the midpoint of construction, which would be later this decade. It's about $2.2 billion, about $2.2 billion of investment.
That's an important thing.
It's a very significant investment. It's one of the biggest infrastructure investments that's ever been made in this region. That, in and of itself, has the potential to produce a large number of jobs, I mean, associated with the construction itself,
correct,
and then the subsequent operation of the system. But over the time after it's open, it'll produce many more jobs and many more economic opportunities for people, because it connects communities where people live to communities where people work, or people go to school, or people maybe find recreational opportunities.
Yes.
I mean, that's what transit is about. But the special thing about the Red Line, and the reason that we're so excited about it, is that because it traverses the region east-west in that way, it connects directly to the existing lines that we have today.
So we're looking at greater connectivity than, and I think that's one of the complaints that we get. Things don't intersect, or they don't really connect.
That's right. We have our existing metro line, our existing light rail line, which you mentioned. Many bus lines feed those. But, that's just two lines. There's a lot of the region that's not really directly covered by those services. So the Red Line has the potential to bring in a whole new corridor. That's tens of thousands of residents in the region who can get access to the Red Line through those stations, then ride it to either their final destination or to places where they can transfer to our existing services. So, for example, you can ride the Red Line directly to the West Baltimore MARC station. You can walk, get off the Red Line train, walk upstairs, and catch a MARC train for Washington.
Right, so it gives you greater connectivity.
If you're going to a job in Washington, if you're going on to Northern Virginia, if you're going to school at Bowie State, those are all things you can get to from the MARC line. You keep riding on into downtown, you can get direct access to our metro system. You can ride to Owings Mills, to Johns Hopkins Hospital. You can connect directly to light rail. You can go down to the airport or up to Hunt Valley or any of the places along the way. So we're being very, very deliberate in terms of the way the Red Line is being laid out to make connections to those existing lines as good as they can can possibly be to enhance the system for the region, the way that so that people can move around and get places without ever having to need a car.
Well, and I think people will be happy about that, but when is it going to begin? I mean, you're saying this, I'm happy, I'm getting excited. When are we going to start digging?
Well, at this point, we're lining up the federal funds that we need now. I mean, an expensive project like this, we're going to rely very heavily on federal help, which we are intent on getting, so we're preparing an application for those funds.
Okay.
We're in the middle of an engineering process now, so which is quite extensive, and a public involvement process. That will result in engineering drawings. Those are put out to bid. We award construction contracts. It goes to construction. At this point, we're talking about beginning construction around 2015.
With completion set?
With completion around 2020.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. The construction process will be very involved. Some parts of the project are relatively simple. For example, we're in Edmondson Village today. The red line will be constructed right in the middle of Edmondson Avenue.
Well, that'll be fun.
In front of this location. That's a fairly simple type of construction.
Yeah.
We're in and out fairly quickly in a season or two. But when we get downtown, we're talking about
tunneling.
A 3-mile-long tunnel under downtown. That's about the only way to get through downtown in a fast, efficient way. And so that is a more elaborate process and will take quite a bit longer. So when we talk about, a long construction period, we're talking about the entire project from end to end.
Well, I know that there's some workshops coming up, but can you tell the public about some upcoming events, workshops?
One of the most important principles of the Red Line is public involvement.
Okay.
So it's a way to consult with the public and get their sense of how the project can be designed in a way that will best serve them. So we have many ongoing processes for doing those. Right now we have a series of what we call station area advisory committees. There are 17 separate committees that are meeting to cover all the stations on the line. Each of them has community residents.
Fun.
It's a very involved process.
Wow.
So every couple of weeks those committees are meeting, and they're talking about the details of the project with regard to particular stations. So here at Edmondson Village, there's a station. There are a number of community residents who are participating in that process. They're helping us find the exact location for the station, how to get good access to it on sidewalks and streets, what kind of lighting people want,
and
where they want the shelters.
You don't have to be a technical person to be a part of this. This is just,
you don't. This
I would like for it to look this way, and this would enhance our community kind of participation.
That's right. This process is really designed to sort of break down the project in a way that makes it very workable for communities. So what these committees have been meeting now for several months. They have a lot of really good ideas, and what we want to do is create an opportunity for them to share those ideas with a larger community. So what we're doing is putting together open houses. There'll be 4 of them in mid-May at 4 different locations along the corridor, and each one of those open houses will feature a group of stations that are in the area where the meeting is being held. And so if anyone in the region wants to come to one of these meetings, there's an opportunity. Free, open to the public. They're several hours long. You can come at any time during that time. There's an area up front where you can get basic facts about the project, history, costs, schedule, design concepts, but then you can move into the back where
you can participate
and you can discuss that particular station area.
Now, how do they get this information? Can they call our customer service line to get it?
They can always call MTA's main customer information number.
It'll be on our website.
410-539-5000. But also we have a project website, www.baltimoreredline.com, and there'll be information right up front on that website about the stationary advisory committees and also about the open houses that we'll be having in May.
So we want people to come out, not to worry. You don't have to be a technical expert. We just need you to care about your community and care about the Red Line to be a part of this.
That's right. I mean, if you live in a community around a station, you already are an expert, and that's the kind of information that we need at this point in the process.
Well, great to see you again, Henry.
Thanks.
And I hope things work out. 2015, I'm optimistic.
Thanks. See you on the train.
Coming up next, our Ask the MTA segment. This time, we'll answer some of your questions about MTA police efforts. Stay with us.